In this tutorial, we're going to be covering search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO is probably the most powerful strategy for driving free qualified traffic to your website. Unfortunately, SEO is also the most difficult and most misunderstood among internet beginners and professionals alike. SEO is a process more than it is an event. Website owners have two options when it comes to SEO. Number one, do it themselves, or number two, pay a professional to do it for them. One thing to remember when considering what option to choose is that search engines are the only companies that can guarantee a specific ranking. Many companies will try to guarantee a first page ranking in exchange for thousands of dollars a month. When you get the proper knowledge and understand SEO as well as the professionals, you can achieve the same ranking on your own, or even better. This knowledge is what allows small internet businesses with small budgets to compete against big companies with big budgets. Knowledge is the key to success. We will teach you in this tutorial the fundamental basics of SEO and discuss how page rank and location on search engines is determined. Please keep in mind that SEO is still a best guess, because only the search engines know the exact formula for the number one spot. To succeed with SEO, it's important to understand the key terms used in search engine optimization and the critical factors that must be addressed to achieve success at any level. So while it shouldn't be your site's only goal, it is an important process that you should take on early and then revisit from time to time. The basic steps in a solid optimization plan are listed below. Number one is keyword research. You'll figure out which keywords represent the best combination of relevancy and popularity. Competitive analysis. By examining the efforts of your competitors, you save yourself hundreds of hours of time and effort. Keyword selection. Choosing the keywords that are most likely to work for your website. Visible on-page optimization. By changing title tags, text, and descriptions, you will alter your content to optimize for chosen keywords. On-page source optimization. Further optimization will deal with invisible parts of your web pages. Search engine inclusion. Either manually or through link acquisition, you'll need to make sure search engines know that your site exists. Link acquisition. By trading and asking for links, you'll build your website's backlinks to improve your search engine positioning. Moving on. Although it can be tempting to remain focused on your optimization efforts, nearly every website reaches a point of diminishing returns where it's best to move on to other efforts. Now let's discuss optimization basics. Although it's important to optimize your website for search engines, it's important that you understand its limitations and avoid spending too much time on optimizing for search engines. Your best bet is to complete some initial optimization and consider revisiting the subject every 6 months or so to ensure that your efforts are still on target. For a simple website, this may take somewhere between 4 to 8 hours at most. For more complex websites with individual page optimization, it could take significantly longer depending on size. In either case, however, it's important to complete the steps described and then move on. Why? Well, consider the following. Number one is limited traffic. Except in very specific cases, focusing on search engine traffic is not a good model to support constant growth. The number of people actually searching for your product or service is a small fraction of the total number of people in the world who could be persuaded to purchase. Even if you could attain the first position for every keyword you target, there's a hard limit to the amount of traffic you can get. Barring something major like an amazingly successful PR campaign, you simply cannot make people search your keywords more frequently. Risk. Because your placement in search engines is relative to the efforts of your competitors, you can never be certain that you will retain your place on top. Beyond that, you'll have to remember that you will never know the precise algorithm used to determine ranking. What's to say that your competitors won't start investing more of their own optimization efforts and push you off the front page? What would you do if your biggest search engine referrer decided to change its algorithm drastically or remove you from their index entirely? If you rely too much on search engine traffic, you will leave your business vulnerable. And finally, composition of results. Currently, sponsored search listings occupy approximately as many slots as natural listings, assuming there are enough advertisers to fill those slots. In the future, it's hard to say how many slots will be filled by sponsored listings or how much importance will be given in their placement on the page. To add even more uncertainty, Google and other search engines have been experimenting with blended results that include video images, products, and news articles. As these elements creep into the standard results, prominent natural rankings will become more and more difficult to obtain. And finally, difficulty level. In some niches, it's virtually impossible to obtain any significant amount of search engine traffic. With just 10 natural slots on the front page of each engine, there isn't always a lot of room for newcomers or those without a lot of money to throw around. So let's talk about some basic terms. First of all, search engine. A website that indexes websites or files and assists users in locating what they're looking for based on their search requests. Some of the more prominent ones are Google, Yahoo, Ask.com, and Microsoft's new one, Bing. Backlinks or inlinks. These terms refer to the links that point to a specific page. If the Yahoo directory links to your page, for instance, it counts as a backlink. Keyword or key phrase. In a technical sense, this can refer to any word that is searched. To be successful, however, you should not concern yourself with every keyword, but you should concern yourself largely with keywords that people actually look for and which seem to indicate the intent to purchase. For example, free organ sheet music binder may be very easy to rank well for, but that's because the phrase is virtually worthless. Not only is the search volume essentially non-existent, but the presence of the word free indicates that the searcher isn't likely to pay for anything in that session. To avoid that problem, use the reverse search engine tool as you optimize each website or individual page. By combining sophisticated results with your own common sense, you can quickly determine the most important keywords for your website. Listing and search result. Any single entry in a list of results from the search engine is a search result or a listing. Although media-based search engines, which include images, videos, etc., have become increasingly popular, traditional search results consist of a title, which is clicked to visit the page, and a description of the site. Some search engines will add features like links to recently cached versions of the page or links to similar sites. Take a look at normal Google results. For some sites, Google includes enhanced listings like the one below. These listings are generally awarded to high-quality, well-optimized sites that have been around for several years. Rank and SRP, or search engine ranking position. This refers to the specific position your site occupies within a given set of search results. The number of different ranks you could occupy is virtually infinite, as you would have a different ranking for every phrase that appears on your page. It's possible that you may rank number 1 for your company's name while appearing number 9 for the name of a specific product you sell. Number 1, that's the never-ending goal for those who are slaves to the search engines. Because rankings fluctuate regularly, you will never be free if you're forever chasing the number 1 position for your keywords. Even worse, the position has decreased in importance in recent years as search engines add more and more results to their ads to their results. Web copy or page ad copy. This refers to any text on a specific web page. In addition to being grammatically correct and easy to read, this text should obtain or contain the keywords you hope to optimize for. Ideally, you'll be able to use them between 2 and 8 times on a page, but the specific number is dependent on the length of the page. For extremely text-heavy page, you may need to increase the number of occurrences. Remember, search engines can't tell yet that your website is on flower baskets and is relevant for daylily gift baskets unless it actually sees those words somewhere. Though there is talk of advanced search engine technology called latent semantic indexing, or LSI, its influence is minimal at this point in time. The goal with LSI is for search engines to deliver better results by understanding what someone wants without the person or the web pages filling in all the details. And finally, submission. Submission. There are 2 ways to be noticed by search engines. Ideally, you'll get other sites to link to yours, and the search engine spiders will naturally find their way through the links and over to your website. In the beginning, it can be difficult to get other sites to link to yours. If that's the case, you can visit each search engine and manually inform them of your site's existence. Next are relevancy-based search engines and the types of search engines. Relevancy engine is the normal search engine, such as Google. The engine indexes an enormous number of websites and returns the results it deems most relevant when someone enters a query. No 2 relevancy search engines compute this in precisely the same way, though, but most methods are vaguely similar. This particular lesson deals not only with relevancy search engines, but they're primarily the search engines that people are discussing when they say the term search engine. Metacrawlers. A metacrawler is simply a search engine that compiles results from other search engines. To appear in Metacrawler results, you need to ensure that you've included in the search engine used to compile the Metacrawler's results. Do not actually submit the site with the Metacrawler. Dogpile, Metacrawler.com, and Search.com are popular examples of Metacrawlers. If you wish to see how they work, try using any one of them. Web directories. Web directories are catalogs of sites organized in a hierarchy. They have categories and subcategories, which can have subcategories, and it can also have subcategories, and so on. The DMOZ, or Open Directory Project, and the Yahoo directory are popular examples, but many thousands do exist. These are also studied more in depth in our library in the Submitting to Human-Edited Directories lesson. And finally, bid-rank search engines. This type of search engine accounts for the sponsored results on most popular search engines. It's also known as pay-per-click. In most cases, these results are seen in a shaded rectangle along the top, bottom, and sides of the natural relevant results. Sometimes this can be confusing, but think of it this way. Google is actually two search engines, one ranked by relevancy and one ranked by advertising dollars. When you perform a search, it's actually checking both engines for results and giving both sets of the results on one page. Note below the sponsored ads on the top and the sides. Those results come from Google's bid ranked engine. Now let's talk about some other terms. First of all, source code. As you might expect, web pages are actually created in HTML and other types of code. To the uninitiated, much of it would look like gibberish, but it's important to know how to find a few basic things among the code. To see the code, follow the steps listed here. Open a web browser or a web page in your browser. Select the View menu bar at the top. From there, choose the View Source and then View Page Source option. This will open a new window and show you the page's code. While the code may be confusing, don't worry about it. We'll explain the code in greater detail later. Keyword density. Simply using a keyword in a page isn't enough. Search engines use a variety of methods to determine their rankings, and keyword density is one of the measures they use. This measures how often a keyword or phrase appears within a page as a percentage of the total words on the page. A number of automated tools can calculate this automatically, thus saving you the tedious task of actually counting. Although a high keyword density is important, search engines are very good at detecting attempts to spam their algorithm. We'll also go over this in greater detail a little bit later in the lesson. Meta tags. These tags are found in the source code, and they're used to help search engines figure out your page's key themes. Meta tags do not appear on the page itself, but this is what a meta tag would look like in the code. Most websites place meta tags near the top of their source code. Go to a few of your favorite websites and use the View Source feature that we described earlier and take a peek at the meta tags. Next, let's talk about title tags. Title tags are the proper code format is explained here. You'll see the title tag at the top of the browser when someone visits your website, and they also show up in the results that include your website. Next is the description tag. The proper code format for the description tag is listed on this screen here. Search engines use your meta description tag to give their users a review of the content they'll find at your page. In the absence of a description tag, they'll simply grab a sample of the text on the page that happens to contain the keywords in question. This may or may not give the readers a good idea of what they'll get by clicking through, so it's best to define the tag on your own. If you've done so successfully, it should look like this. Next is the keyword tag. The keyword tag is formatted below, and because keyword tags are only visible by viewing a page's source code, they're especially vulnerable to those who hope to abuse the system. For that reason, search engines vary the importance they assign to the keyword tag. We'll go into greater detail on keyword tags elsewhere in the lesson. And finally, an image alt tag. Image alt tags were designed to give the blind a way to interpret images within a page. Because they can't actually see the images, screen reading programs read the alt tags aloud to describe the contents of each image. Search engines have found this quite handy and may use alt tags to determine the relevancy of pages in search results. Most sites don't use alt tags, but there are a couple of good reasons to do so. Outside of the search engine benefits, it also makes your page handicap accessible. Although the legal requirement for doing so is still unclear, it's hard to say if it will become a legal necessity in the future. There's certainly no harm in doing this right now. Some other terms. On-site optimization. This refers to optimization changes you can make to your own web pages. Off-site optimization refers to the combination of off-site changes that help determine your placement within search engine results. Link popularity. Link popularity is determined by the number of websites that link to yours and is one of the most important factors in off-site optimization. It's easy to manipulate on-page elements like title tags and meta descriptions, but it's much harder to build link popularity if your site is of low quality. You can check link popularity at Google, Yahoo, or MSN by typing in link:/HTTP and then the domain name. In general, greater link popularity will lead to higher search engine rankings. Depending on your niche, strong link popularity could mean 30, 3,000, 30,000, or more links to your site. We'll go into greater detail on this topic later. Next is link relevancy. Link relevancy, because of the number of links pointing to your site, doesn't tell the whole story. Most modern search engines also consider the relevancy of the links. The exact formulas are unknown, but if your major keywords appear frequently in a page, it's typically safe to assume that it will be considered a relevant link. Doorway pages are specifically designed to insert specific key phrases in hopes of getting traffic and quickly redirecting it to different pages. Due to the deceptive nature of doorway pages, this technique is generally frowned upon by search engines. Index crawling. These terms all refer to the process in which search engines explore and track the pages in their industries. Spiders maintain a lot of sites they wish to keep track of and make a habit of following each and every link on those pages. In that way, they're able to learn about new sites. If the spiders don't find your site on their own, you can manually submit your site to the search engines. Algorithm. Because there are thousands of sites that wish to compete for each popular keyword, search engines have to devise ways to ensure they display the most appropriate results when users search their database. To do that, they use relevancy algorithms. An algorithm is a set of steps or rules that can be applied to a situation to guide the completion of a task. In this case, it's a set of weights or criteria to help determine the potential ranking and where each site should rank. Major search engines are thought to make small changes to their algorithms as often as once a day or more. These changes are a major part of risk involved in spending too much time optimizing for search engines. As a side note, it's important to understand that no one knows the detail of the Google algorithm, aside from a small number of Google employees who have far too much to lose to throw it all away leaking secrets. If someone tells you they can improve your rankings because they know someone, run away. Similarly, no one can promise you top 10 rankings. The algorithm is constantly changing secret, and claims like this should definitely raise red flags. Deep indexing. This is almost an outdated term in this day and age, but it does come up from time to time. Deep indexing simply refers to the tendency of a search engine to index all pages it finds on a site as opposed to just indexing the home page. Nearly all search engines engage in deep indexing now. Because of this, it's important for webmasters to remember that any page on a website could be an entry page for search engine traffic. Make sure that all pages have clear copy and navigation to ensure that visitors are properly funneled to the pages you want them to end up at. A purchase page, for instance. And with market share, each of the search engine market share refers to the percentage of overall web users that use a given search engine. In the past, Yahoo is the clear leader, but in recent years, Google is on top. So let's talk about your strategy. While all search engines are a little different, it's possible to structure your optimization efforts for maximum results across all of them. So here are a couple of steps. Number 1, research. Spend a few moments brainstorming and using the reverse search tool to figure out 5 to 10 of the most popular and relevant keywords for your page. If you prefer to optimize separately for multiple products, make sure that each has its own page on your website and come up with keywords for each. From there, do a quick Google search to check out the top 5 competitors for each keyword. For each of these competitors, you'll want to do the following. View the page's source code on the page you land on, but not necessarily the main page of their website. Print it out and save it for later. Assuming that their page is printer-friendly, go ahead and print it out. Examine their source code and make notes about whether or not they use alt tags and how frequently the keyword appears completely in the title and meta tags. Step 2 is competitor analysis. Use the data from step 1 to figure out which keywords your competitors are most likely targeting. This will include the keywords you came up with before, along with some potential new ones. Using the keyword tool, check the popularity of your competitors' keywords. If possible, enlist the help of a friend to come up with additional keywords that you may have overlooked. In some cases, you may even find that certain misspellings receive a lot of traffic. Step 3 is final selection. It may be tempting to target the top 5 keywords in terms of search volume. This isn't usually the best strategy. In some cases, you just can't expect to compete with a level of effort that's efficient for your business. You'll want to find keywords that have a good number of searches without too much competition. If all the competitors seem to be targeting a particular keyword, it may be too competitive. Of course, one way to check is to use the link URL command in Yahoo to check the number of backlinks they have. If they have just a few, it doesn't matter how heavily they're using the keyword in their page and meta tags, you stand a reasonably good chance of getting traffic for it. On the other hand, if the keyword in question is something like auto insurance with hundreds of thousands of searches and extremely high-profile competitors, you'll want to look more specific. Long-tail keywords. These include phrases like California auto insurance quotes or a new driver insurance quotes. While the traffic will be lower, you'll be much more likely to rank well for those phrases. Your conversion rates may also benefit from targeting more specific keywords. This is because customers who are closer to making a purchase typically perform more specific searches. Instead of car stereo, a serious buyer may look for Sirius Ready Pioneer car stereo or car stereos with auxiliary input. Finally, step 4 is on-page changes. Create meta tags, web copy, and alt tags for each page on your website. If you're optimizing for more than one product, make sure the keywords for each product appear on the actual product page. This may seem obvious, but some new webmasters neglect to put the keywords in the right place, thus dulling their overall impact. Title tags. Title tags should include as many of your keywords as possible without sounding ridiculous. They should be limited to approximately 60 characters, as search engines limit the number of characters they display in results. Meta keywords. Meta keywords should be limited to 255 characters and should include all of your major keywords along with any minor keywords that can fit in under the limit. It's not important in this section to be rateable. It's merely a comma-separated list of keywords. Meta description. Your meta description should be limited to 160 characters. Although it should include the major keywords, it should also be easy to read. As we mentioned before, this text will be shown when people see your site in search engine results. Alt tags. Make sure image alt tags and your images have the alt tags, even if unimportant images. This is a great opportunity to make your site accessible to blind users while enhancing their position in search engines. When making on-site changes, we want to avoid the following pitfalls. Number 1 is overstuffing. If your text uses keywords so frequently that it sounds bad to a human reader, it probably won't fare well with the search engines either. Be reasonable and don't go crazy. Respect character limits. While there's generally no harm in using a few too many extra characters, you shouldn't create a title tag with 500 characters. This kind of activity will only serve to make your site look bad. Hiding your efforts. Don't try to hide your text from visitors by creating extremely tiny fonts or making the text and background the same color. This is a great way to get banned. Avoid frames. Although some search engines can understand them, they continue to confuse others. Use CSS to maintain consistent styling and navigation. Avoid automation. Although there are certainly some ways to automate search engine optimization, this is best left to professionals. Do your own work by hand. When you pay for automated search engine submission or link building services, you never know what you're getting. Search engine friendly design. Avoid using flash or images that contain text. Search engines need real text, not pictures of text. Irrelevance. Don't bother using popular keywords that aren't relevant to your site. Even if you do succeed in getting the traffic, you'll probably find it to be worthless because the viewer arrived there with different expectations. Now let's talk about building backlinks. Although good site optimization will help get some traffic, backlinks can dramatically increase your results. So here's some things and some ways to get backlinks. Number 1, link trading. This is one of the most common link building strategies, but its effect has diminished significantly over the years. In general, a link trade is worthwhile if you expect to be worthwhile trade based on traffic alone. You may receive search engine benefits from some of your trades, but don't assume that you will in all cases. Vertical portals. Make your site known to owners of vertical portals. Many will be willing to add your site to theirs in the interest of providing a comprehensive resource. We'll talk more about vertical portals in lessons in our library. Blog and forum commenting. By commenting on relevant blogs and forums and leaving your URL, of course, you can build backlinks and make valuable connections. Check out our list of blogs that have disabled the no-follow attribute that makes commenting links worthless. Guestbooks. Similar to blogs, many guestbooks allow you to leave a URL with your comments. Free classifieds. Create listings on popular free classified ad sites, including a link to your own page with each. Directory submission. Submit your site to relevant high-quality directories. See our guide on directory submissions in the library for more details. Affiliate program. By creating an affiliate program for your site, you can gain hundreds or even thousands of links to your website. Competitive analysis. Examine the backlinks of your competition and check out sites that have given them links. Sometimes, just asking is enough to get them to link to you. And finally, maintenance. Once you've laid the groundwork for your site's optimization, you want to continue working on quality content and check back in every 6 months or so. By using this slightly removed approach, you'll be able to get search engine traffic while continuing to develop additional marketing channels that may ultimately prove to be even more successful. Search engine optimization is a strategy that most people like to use because if done properly, it generates free traffic. Or does it? Most professional SEO companies charge $100 to $300 an hour for search engine optimization services. Some challenges exist with SEO. You can't be relevant and optimized for an infinite number of keyword phrases, so the chances of getting the first page of major search engines on as many keyword phrases that you can on pay-per-click is an impossible dream. Many people pay companies to manage their SEO, so it can become time-consuming to set up and optimize your site, but then they keep charging you to keep your website on the top. There are several factors that determine your rank on a search engine, including but not limited to keyword frequency, density, and relevancy. It includes the number of relevant and popular websites that are linking with yours, how often your content changes, meta tags, and traffic. Search engines use computer programs that come out, analyze your site, and then determine what phrases you are relevant to. Just like with pay-per-click, to improve your chances of getting placement at the top of search engines, you need to research keywords. Identify what keywords and phrases your potential buyers are using to look for what you sell. Evaluate your competition. There are actual software tools that will analyze the top websites in a search engine and show you their keyword density, relevancy, and usage. Understanding how SEO works can save you a lot of time and a lot of money by doing it yourself. Thank you for visiting on this lesson of SEO. Our future videos will cover more information on how to rank well.